Broadcasting live from the Big Dome, the Araneta Coliseum, ABS-CBN Sports brings to you its continuing coverage of the second round of Season 73 of your UAAP.
Season 73, ABS-CBN Sports.
One thing that Coach Dino never fails to point out to the boys, and that is their number one weapon, their speed.
Puts on the brakes, gets it up the web underneath. Good find there by Janet Tapos. Crucial minute here in the fourth quarter with an injury. Gerson to Hermosísima for three. Drills it home! Oh my goodness!
And what a time for NU. Steal the lead again, 68-66.
Hermosísima guarded by Padilla, driving. Great pass to Emmanuel Ginebe.
NU's offense has really improved in the third quarter.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, up ahead, two teams that had contrasting results from their last games. DLSU University hoping to bounce back from a heartbreaking loss to end their first round, when it battles a team that came back, biggest margin in more than 7 years to come back with a win. We're talking about National University. They're featured in our main game, DLSU and NU. Main game of your Saturday doubleheader. For ABS-CBN Sports, Boom Gonzalez, Coach Mark Molina, you're watching us live on Studio 23, courtesy of, as we said, ABS-CBN Sports, and in high definition on Balls HD 167. Good afternoon, and Mark, big game for these two teams today, especially after that Ateneo win. Now, LaSalle was at 4-3 last year after the first round, so they're there at the same spot. NU, in the meantime, ending up with a 3-11 card last year, so a chance to improve and stay closer to the leaders after this game.
Well, this might be the first game of the first round for both teams, but it could be the most important game of the season as far as the race to the Final Four is concerned, because the way it stands now, this is number 4 LaSalle versus number 5 NU. So a chance here for LaSalle to put some separation against NU, and for NU, a chance to tie LaSalle at 4th spot with a win today.
And of course, LaSalle needing to stay with Ateneo. As Ateneo won earlier, you look at the team standings to get a better picture of what we're talking about. Ateneo won over UP in our first game, and that as we start the second round assignments of both NU and LaSalle.
And right now, FEU, Adamson, Ateneo, although not yet in, looking good right now as far as being in the Final Four is concerned. LaSalle at 4-3. If they win today, LaSalle will be 2 games up against number 5 team NU and UST, which is a big margin considering there are only 6 games left in the elimination round. But for NU, I think if this is a must-win game for NU. If they win today, the Final Four race will be wide open, because they will tie LaSalle at number 4.
More than just improving on last year's team standings, that is what's at stake for National University. Now we're talking about the two worst teams in terms of turning the ball over, NU being the last and LaSalle being 7th. Now let's talk about LaSalle, because we're going to highlight their turnovers, because in their losses, obviously the numbers pile up. And as we mentioned earlier, they lost against Adamson University, a heartbreaker. They were ahead going into the 4th quarter. They lost 70-68, and they turned the ball over more than any other time in the first round of Season 73 of the UAAP.
Well, this is definitely because of the youth of this team.
Yeah.
LaSalle, under Coach Dindo Pomarin, and before under Coach Franz Pomarin, usually they take good care of the ball. They are the ones who force the team to turnovers. That is their style. 16.7 in wins and losses, 22.3. And again, This is because this is a very young team. Rookies and sophomores commit more mistakes than veteran players, and so it goes with the territory. Against Adamson, 26 turnovers, that's why they lost the game. But still, they were in the game until the final minute. So that is still a good sign for LaSalle. If they can limit their turnovers 15 to 17, then this could be a win for LaSalle.
And just to highlight that point, Mark, in the first game against NU in the first round, LaSalle committed 21 turnovers in that game. So very close to the 22 turnovers during their losses. All right, let's bring in the third member of our broadcast panel here for the game, Aaron Torreon from the DLSU side. And you know, Aaron, the concern for the LaSalle fans is the fact that in the last two games against FEU and Adamson, you guys were ahead in the fourth quarter and you still lost.
Yes, Boom. Well, just like their game against FEU, Coach Dino threw around the word sayang after losing to Adamson as the boys wasted the opportunity to grab second place. Coach Dino pointed out to the boys that they'd become too complacent after a few made baskets. They end up playing for the crowd instead of playing as a team. This tendency of theirs to relax is something that Coach Dino attributes as their lack of mental focus, especially during the crucial parts of the game and during the fourth quarter.
Well, you talked about that, the lack of focus. You talked about, Mark, the freshman and sophomore lineup, 11 players. All in all, Aaron, tell us, how is the coaching staff addressing this apparent lack of focus or lack of maturity?
Well, during the first practice for the second round, the coaches sat down with all the players and they addressed this exact problem. They told them that they basically just need to stick within the system, and at the same time, he also told them that if they had any concerns, that they should approach the coaches and tell them about it so that they can deal with it together and so that their focus on the court will be only on the game.
All right. Thank you very much, Aaron Torreon. Your thoughts, Mark?
Well, right now, LaSalle is at 4-3. Had they finished that game against Adamson well, and that game also against FEU well, LaSalle could have been easily 6-1 right now heading into the second round. But again, it comes with the territory. When you're playing a lot of rookies, you're playing a lot of sophomores, and you play at a very fast speed, then the turnovers really happen.
At kaya nasabi nga ni Erin kanina, wasted opportunity. Against NU in that first round, they led, NU, by the way, led 80% of the way, and they finished off LaSalle 59-55 back in July 15, which means we turn the conversation over to the National University Bulldogs. Much talked about win, Mark, against the UP Fighting Maroons. More than 7 years ago, 17-point lead by Adamson. FEU came back to win that game 76-74. This is the biggest comeback in more than 7 years. 22 points. 22
points. And usually, if you want to be a contender here in the UAP, you need a big man, you need a good point guard, you need a scorer. And NU, they have these three guys in this team right now. Embe is their big man. He had 10 points in that second half, in that comeback win. You have Kokoy Hermosissima also with 10 points in that second half win. Right? And then you have Telso. This guy is so underrated, but to me he is between the top 3 point guards in the league right now. He also had 10 points in that comeback win in the second half against UP. So these three guys, with a combined 30 points against the UP Fighting Maroons, they're the reasons why they were able to come back from that 22-point deficit. And they will be the reason today, if NU will beat LaSalle, it will be because of these three guys.
And what I like about that comeback, it was slow. They crept back into the ball game. It wasn't because of lucky threes or anything like that. They really defended well, crept back until they finally pulled the rug from under the feet of the UP Fighting Maroons. As we talk to the fourth member of our broadcast panel, Maan Panganiban. And you know, Maan, this has got to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest win for Coach Eric Gonzalez's young UAP coaching career, man.
Yes, if there's one thing that this team is very proud of as of yet, that would be this major comeback when they played UP last Saturday. And Boom and Mark, that major comeback is an understatement. I had a chance to talk to Coach Eric Gonzalez after the game, and there are only 2 words to describe our coach: very steady. And according to him, well, they only needed a spark plug. He never doubted the NU Bulldogs, and he believes that they will win over UP even if they were down big at the half. And those spark plugs, not just 1 but 3. We have Joseph Terso, Kokoy Hermosissima, and John Embe.
And Embe, and you mentioned also earlier, Mark, well, let's focus on the guy, because against LaSalle in the first round, he had 21 points, 19 rebounds. He's got to be a target today, man.
Yes, well, he played superb when they played DLSU. But mind you, Boom and Mark, he was sick then. And even after even the UP game, he was sick. He admitted he was having cold sweats, eyesight not 100%, and he was feeling kind of dizzy after that game. But, well, he admits, and, well, he didn't bother to rant about it during the game. He actually felt his head and muscles aching right after the last buzzer. And I asked him how is he feeling right now. He said he's about 80 to 90% today, and once he steps on that gas, he will be over the top. And I also asked him what does he want to tell the NU community before he takes on, or before the team takes on LaSalle. He said, "Nous sommes prêts à gagner, nous sommes prêts à gagner." Well, thanks to my French professor, well, that meant we are ready to play and we are ready to win this ball game.
Thank you very much, man. Well, as the basketball cliche goes, Mark, an 80%, 90% Embe is better than no Embe at all.
Well, he's the key guy today. 21 points, 19 rebounds in the first game. He was the best player on the floor in the first game. If he can dominate once again the smaller LaSalle front line, then that's a big plus here for NU.
All right, NU LaSalle, when we come right back here after the break. This is Studio 23, an ABS-CBN sports presentation of the 73rd season of the UAAP.
First, let's call out the starters of your DLSU Green Archers. At guard number 12, Joseph Tolentino. The other guard number 7, Simon Atkins. At center number 18, Philip Paredes. At forward number 5, Alvin Villanueva. And the other forward number 10, Joshua Webb. Their head coach is Dindo Pumare. Now check out the starters of your National University Bulldogs. At guard number 6, Joseph Verso. The other guard number 9, Joseph Hermosissima. At center number 14, Emmanuel Embe. At forward number 15, Joel Bonferrada. And the other forward number 8.
All right, here we go. Second game of our Saturday doubleheader. Earlier on, Ateneo pounding UP into submission in the first game, and it's time for NU and DLSU to go up against each other as their first assignments here in the second round. And our statisticians doing research, the record of NU against LaSalle, 4-44.
4-44. Since 1985, I suppose.
Yeah.
And that was the year LaSalle joined the UAP. Papot Paredes starting in this game because he probably, among all the LaSalle big men, he has the size and the mobility to match up against Emmanuel Embe.
Okay. The only wins came in 2001, 2003, and 2009.
Plus this year. That's the first one.
Yes, and that one, yes. And DLSU won its first 31 meetings. If they win today, obviously, it will be the first time the Bulldogs will sweep the Archers in one season. But of course, we are far away from that. We are just about to start here. And oh, there's a little coaching or player change right away. So they
Bonferrada is in.
Bonferrada, yeah.
Instead of El Riobu. But El Riobu will be in the scorer's table.
Yeah, to replace him right away.
Yep.
First dead ball situation. Happy to have you with us on this Saturday afternoon. And first dibs going to National U. 22 points down. They worked hard on defense, Mark, in that game. It wasn't a flurry of threes. They kept it close in the end. And oh, what a heartbreaker for UP. Of course, everybody knows that already. But on the other end, morale boost for National U.
Definitely. Because had NU gone on to lose that game to UP, who knows what would have happened in the Final Four. They will lose some confidence. They would be only a 2-5 heading into this game. And really, they would be a long shot to make the Final Four. But with that comeback win and a win today, they will be back in the hunt.
You know, I was talking to assistant coach Jeff Napa, and he said during the halftime, Coach Eric didn't even get to talk a lot. It was him, it was the other assistant coaches, it was the team manager who were really saying na wala silang kadepe-depensa nung first half. And they're really scolding the whole team because it's so quiet, according to Coach Jeff Napa. And then eventually Coach Eric came in and he said, wala na akong kailangan sabihin. Alam niyo na kung anong kailangan niyo gawin. And they came out like a new team now in the third quarter, and it showed in the way they played.
Well, that's all motivation now on the part of Coach Eric Gonzalez. Kumbaga, kalimutan na natin yung X and O's at halftime. Oh, we just need to play harder, shoot with more confidence, which they did. And when you have a guy like Copper